the ETF.com video series. My name is Laura Krieger, and I'm here with Dan Ahrens, who is the Managing Director and Chief Operating Officer of AdvisorShares, who late last year, y'all launched the AdvisorShares Vice ETF, ticker ACT. So, which is an actively managed portfolio of tobacco stocks, alcohol stocks, and cannabis stocks. So I was hoping you could give our viewers a little bit of an overview of what ACT is and how these so-called vice stocks are recession-proof.
Sure. We're big believers in long-term alcohol and tobacco. We also think it makes sense to your average investor that these could be steady, recession-resistant at least, performers. Now, some people are surprised by tobacco, but I would just encourage somebody to look at a 10, 20, 30, 50-year chart of tobacco, and it's been a great performer, even while people smoke less. Those companies are doing a great job with vapes, e-cigarettes, and innovation, and they are by far, the biggest profit margin consumer product. And a lot of people know that. So, alcohol and tobacco, we think, can be a recession-resistant portfolio. Now, in the past year or two, our firm was contacted numerous times by numerous people wanting to create a marijuana fund. And do you know what we said to them? No, it won't work. There's not enough legal, large, listed companies to invest in. Again, legal at a federal level in the United States. It doesn't work. But once we started looking at combining these things, we thought it really made sense. We think in the future there's going to be a great deal of overlap between the tobacco industry and alcohol industry with various forms of cannabis, marijuana, cannabinoids, whatever. Right now we just invest in things like Scott's Miracle-Gro.
Sure.
They're big in the marijuana growing industry. And we're investing in some large pharmaceutical and biotech companies that are, again, doing things legally at a federal level. They're trying to get FDA approval. Some of them have FDA approvals for very useful medications and drugs. And
they're all registered with the DEA, right?
Yeah, well, they either have a DEA registration themselves or their vendors do. There's a lot of communication with the FDA and DEA. They're doing it legally, and we're very confident in that.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you see alcohol stocks and tobacco stocks as, they're going to be more and more involved in the marijuana space as time goes on.
We think so.
Why do you think so?
One of our top holdings, a large alcohol company, Constellation Brands, very famously already made a big investment in a Canadian marijuana grower called Canopy. And they're going to make some cannabis, marijuana-based beers for sale in other parts of the world, not the United States. And if and when, maybe in a future administration, maybe we'll see federal legalization. I don't know. We want to be in position for that, though. And my question is, if there ever is federal legalization, who do you think is going to dominate that? Some small marijuana grower in California or somebody like Philip Morris?
Right.
So that's why we want to be in that space. We think these things work very well together in a portfolio.
There's a lot of harmonization there. So you brought up the Trump administration, perhaps the future administration, but we're under the Trump administration right now, and there has been from the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, he has come out and said that he's going to do a renewed push for prosecution, at least at the federal level, of marijuana-related crimes. Do you see that having any impact on ACT going forward?
Not really. There's always a risk there. But again, we're dealing with companies that I think even Jeff Sessions would agree are legal. We're talking about big pharmaceutical and biotech companies. We feel very strongly that investing in those Canadian companies, that's not legal in the United States.
Okay.
I have big fears of if there is a hedge fund or a pooled vehicle or a mutual fund or an ETF that's investing in those small OTC companies, in those Canadian companies, I think there's going to be a weird shakeout with that. I think people might be forced to divest or shut down funds. I have fears there. On the other hand, investing in legal biotech and pharmaceutical companies, I think that's going to continue to grow and expand. I think my investable universe is going to continue to grow and expand, even with the Trump administration. And once again, with future administrations, we think there might be additional legalizations.
So this is very much a long, forward-looking investment. So I think we're going to leave it there. Thanks, Dan, for your time today, and enjoy the rest of the conference. I've been talking with Dan Ahrens, who is the COO of AdvisorShares, and I am Laura Krieger. So for more videos, please check out our video series at ETF.com. Thank you.